insecurities haunting my memories, cause I'm holding them inside. Let go, put my thoughts back into words. Feels like I let me down, ain't got no golden crown. I'm just trying to be one. I don't think I'm losing my mind, building all these walls over time. Every time I lose my way, I find you. I know that when fears start to hit me, know that you're the one to lift me. I find you. Yeah, I'll find you. Yeah, I'll find you. I used to hold it all inside. Anytime I lose my mind. Anytime I lose my mind. I used to hold it all inside. Every time I lose my way, I find you. I know that when fears start to hit me, know that you're the one to lift me. I find
What's with the hold up? White breath, big coat, got the cold touch. Can't hear too much of our shoulders. Don't sweat, this night isn't over. Don't stress, this love is a coaster. Jump up, jump down on my sofa. This air's too loud, the doja. Tryna ease you out. Take a deep breath, gonna calm you down. I hear this beat down deep inside. Don't wait to feel, don't wait to try. So what's with the hold up? If you come in to show up. So what's with the hold up? If you come in and move. What's with the hold up? If you come in to show up. So what's with the hold up? If you come in to show up. Hold up, slow touch. Always blowing up phones when the door shut. Deep breath, white ducks. You should let in some air, you get stuck. Hurt feet as the tears rush. Cold sleep, keep a parent's son. They don't know what you crying for. They don't know what you do to get onto the dance floor. How many times that it takes to convince you? How many times that I'm someone you want more? I'm trying to show you the things that I'm into, but every time we arrive at an ending, now I feel that I sound condescending. I know you hurt, but you know that I'm mending. But we can still go home if you want to. I hear this beat down deep inside. Don't wait to feel, don't wait to try. So what's with the hold up? If you come in to show up. So what's with the hold up? If you come in to move. What's with the if you come in to show up. So what's with the if you come in to show up. I've been so lonesome since she went away. She's gone through changes, but I've stayed the same. And she knows that my heart was in the right place. It's a shame that her right
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the mini RPG of the week. My name's Quantum Deathcat, here with Drizzly Bear, actually. Oh, where'd Nua go? Nua's dead.
Well, actually, Nua sang way too much at karaoke at the weekend and got me to fill the shoes of the big man himself. Blew his pipes a little bit, but I'm a little sturdier than he, so we'll see him. We'll see him soon. We'll see him soon. But today it's you and me, QDC.
Just you and me, baby. Just you and me. So we have ourselves. What edition of the mini RPG of the week is this?
Well, I think it's 40. It's season 2, episode 12. Quite the legacy we're leaving behind us now. We're getting quite on, aren't we?
Yeah, it's probably like my 12th, maybe, mini RPG of the week. I do now. This is something I do, like once a month, it seems now.
Well, this is my second this month, and I think it was Black Pulse last week called me out for something that I repeated that I said on my first broadcast ever on this. So the people never forget, the streets remember, so watch what you say, people. Mind yourself, behave, be good out there.
Behave, be good, because I said stuff like 2 years ago. People still remember when, in my first cast, when I saw OTAC, alright, one of the now Grand League players, right? Back in the day, he was just a measly tech player, right? He wasn't even in TMGLC. So no one knew, not many people knew who he was, and I was calling him Otaku because Q in French is Q. So I was saying Otaku. So I was calling him pretty much a weeb for a whole cast, and people laughed and they loved it. Alright, I'm gonna put my cat outside, that way she doesn't meow too loudly. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got ourselves quite the matchup ahead of us. That is going to take place, not 25 minutes for a warm-up, it's going to be only 15 this time around. So it's not going to be one of those really hard maps where no one's going to get consistent at all and some random person's going to win. It's going to be much closer, I think, than most other days.
Yeah, last week we saw a bit of, I would say, a conceptual map. You kind of needed the 20-25 minute pre-round to figure it out, because I don't know if you caught it, double resets changed the season where waters would turn to ice and such things, you know, surfaces would change, and basically there were 2 instances of the map, and a double respawn at a checkpoint would just bring you to a new instance of the map that was either in summer or in winter. It was fabulous. It was wonderful. But this week we have a bit more of a straightforward one for you.
Yeah, it's not necessarily a switching of the guard like a double reset map that we had. That sounds actually very, very creative. If you didn't go watch the VOD, go watch it. It's probably on the channel, right?
Go check it out. Yeah.
Go check it out. You were the one doing it too, so yeah. Go check out the stuff that Drizzly did last week, guys. Go check it out. So what's so simple about this week? What do we have ahead of us?
So we have Lux City by Mr. Big Lews, and if we would like to take a look at it, we can throw it on over to the warm-ups people are doing and maybe see what GPS looks like, or maybe some of the drivers figuring out what it looks like. Our description, our one-sentence summary tells us that we're going to take a walk through a submerged futuristic city, and as you can see, this looks clean. It's that kind of minimalistic aesthetic, but I think it's going to make for some nice driving.
Honestly, a submerged city, so I'm thinking of Venice and New Orleans, right? Places in the world that you're right on the edge of the water, right? Maybe a small part of it is submerged, but looking at it through here, right? It just seems like really elevated spots and then waterfalls everywhere, right? Even a pipe right there.
Yeah, we're on board with the author of the map right now, Big Lews themselves, showing us maybe what to expect from, you know, the map, the routing they thought of when they were, you know, building the map. But they expect the records that they set, that the GPS, the author time, and all that to be broken during this mini RPG of the week. It seems that a 58.9 was kind of what they set. But optimization is obviously going to come through our numerous talented drivers today.
Yeah, I actually doubt a 58.9 is the fastest time that we'll get here, honestly speaking, because we've seen a lot of authors just underrate, right? Just underrate the players that come in. The caliber of players here, very, very high, and you can already see Ice has practically done the author time within 5 minutes. He's barely played the map at all. So when it comes to an RPG map, if you already do the author time, off the bat, and you're saying that author time, the fastest time is going to be 1 second below author time. I think that the fastest time here is going to be a 57.3. That's my guess.
Yeah, no doubt, and I think we're already starting to see that. Yeah, the promise of those sub 58 runs. Perhaps I misspoke when I said author time. I definitely meant GPS. But please do forgive me. I am but a novice. I do nothing but speak words into existence in the world when New Lake needs me to. So yeah, it seems like Big Liz is expecting players to kind of maybe have a handy time figuring out what way to drive this map, but driving it the best is going to be probably where the difference is made. So rather than it being difficult to figure out, how to drive it, it's executing, and I don't know, maybe a pipe or two you might need to figure out the best way to approach it. But it's I think maybe going to be very pleasant to drive, but at the same time that's going to be the thing that tests you the most.
Yeah, I agree. We could already see a nice little run here by Weege that he's just showing us around the map, and this is what players are going to be doing. They're not necessarily looking for the fastest lap in the world at this point in time. What they're trying to do is build a little bit of consistency, because when you're playing Mini RPG of the Week, you're not looking for the fastest time right away, right? Because you want to try and get consistent at each checkpoint. You want to try and reach the risky finish and get it properly, like we just did. He just found it, and oh well, now tried it a couple times, got it good. I don't think he'll ever fail it again, right? Because that's how Trackmania works. You get it once, you'll never fail it again, right?
As with all things in life, humans, infallible people, just instruments of God, vessels for the divine, and we do things for the first time and we never forget how to do them, Everything is like riding a bike, especially those risky finishes. That little cheeky, it looks more awkward than I think.
Actually is.
Yeah.
It's
maybe
one of the
it's
risky finishes that I've seen actually for Mini RPG of the Week, because you don't seem to need all the speed in the world to get it. You can see that there's little optimizations that can be made as well on this map, and so that's very nice that the author not only put in just like a regular safe route, but also more risky and more fluid route, just side by side with everything, right? You can probably get through this with very minimal airtime and with the perfect lines. Even if you hard reset somewhere, you're going to successfully be able to make it, let's say, through the risky finish here for earnable without even necessarily needing all the speed in the world. So yeah, one of the easier risky finishes, I will say.
Yeah, like you can backboard into that easy finish, right? We saw it there with Ernie Ball, that you can take kind of a, I don't want to say a lazy line to it, but you don't have to be too tense. You can probably, if you've done it a couple of times in these practice rounds, be fairly confident you're going to get it when it comes to the elimination rounds.
Yeah.
So yeah, no doubt. Let's see.
We already have Sir Talon making a 59.4, so 0.5 away from the author's predicted fastest lap. And there's the 57.7 by Liker. And when I said 57.3 would be the fastest time, I did not expect it to be in the practice run here, because if that's already what we're seeing with 6 minutes left, we are surely going to be seeing 56s, actually.
Yeah, in the little blurb that we have from the author of the track, actually, they say that they expect a 56, although I suppose the GPS they set was the 58.9. So
okay.
I think we have faith that
Yes.
56. I think your intuition matches that hidden knowledge that I kept from you that I did not tell you before. Oh, I love to be partial to spreading misinformation on Mini RPG of the Week.
Just like so many people
Stay
on
frosty,
Twitter do.
folks.
People on Twitter love to do that. That's why I hate Twitter. I'd never be on there for more than 5 minutes. Ooh, actually, Liker just showed us what not to do in that last section there. He went wide. You don't have enough speed, and if you don't have enough speed and you go too wide, you won't be able to get the height to get the risky finish. So,
okay,
good show there from Liker to show us that it is possible to miss it, and that is if you bring too much speed. into that last turn. So do be careful about that, because if you get too much airtime, you will fail it.
I'm really liking a lot of the tight turns at the start, just making sure you're driving fast, but you're not, it's not full speed, and they're not the tightest lines either, but it's just, it looks nice,
It's a very techie map with a lot of drifts everywhere, not a lot of other blocks such as dirt or ice, right? It's mainly just road / asphalt / whatever you want to call it. So you have yourself a very straightforward-ish map when it comes down to the driving. Now, once you figure out the layout, right, that's the harder part, I would assume, and getting it down pat. Once you get that down pat, it's really just the driving at that point, because there's no ice to memorize, there is no dirt to memorize, it's legitimately just tech.
Yeah. And we're on with a quite clean run from Novu here, and just the transitions, the angles, taking it inside that tree probably shaves off a few milliseconds. It's going to be, down to keeping your wheels on the ground, getting those angles when you land correct, and then squeezing out that risky finish at the end. They're all going to do... I imagine when you have a risky fin like this versus like a normal fin... Oh, Novu, unfortunate. With a clean run, I just couldn't finish it out. Couldn't tap it in.
Yeah.
But yeah, it looks like... I don't know. It looks nice. I'm enamored with the author, the Big Leus. They say they think it's going to be a nice thing to drive. It's going to be something that makes as many players as possible happy to drive. So
that is true, because tech is a very universal thing in Trackmania. It's probably the most utilized type of map, right? So there's many kinds of maps, right? You've got full speed maps. Tech maps are the quintessential part of Trackmania. You look at any competition, right? So there are way more tech competitions out there than anything else. If you look at old Trackmania Grand League or World Cups, right, especially before Trackmania 2020, they were all tech maps. There was nothing more than just tech maps. And so this is really like the cornerstone, right, the backbone of Trackmania. Kind of like the flip reset, and that turned into the musky flip.
Right. Okay. So
into the Rocket League things.
Shout outs to all our Rocket League fans out there. We love to drive car and go fast. Sometimes we love to kick ball.
Sometimes we like to kick ball in net, but if you're me, no, that doesn't happen. That last part doesn't happen. Just drive fast, you'll all boost. That's all I do.
We like a comprehensive team. We need defenders. Not everyone can be a goal scorer,
Yeah, true.
So would I be right in saying then that tech for it's really no different than most video games, most endeavors in life. People love to be mechanically proficient at things, be able to press button fast, do that really fast guitar solo, run the fastest 100 meters. It's so ingrained into, the human spirit. Be good at the thing, and be good in the most complicated or the most, it feels like that thing where it's like you need to be as technically competent as possible, and obviously a tech map, tests your technique. So
of course, and that is one of the quintessential things is drifting, right around a corner. That you really need to practice that. And I mean, when it comes down to tech maps at this point in the game, right, with so many different blocks like ice and plastic and magnet and what have you, you have so many different surfaces that you can drive on, that you can set yourself up and build a map with, that at this point in time, right, if you see a real tech map, that's like a vanilla, right? That's like going to the ice cream shop, getting yourself vanilla, right? You're a basic maiden. I'm trying not to swear here. So that's pretty much it, right? It's the vanilla of Trackmania, if you will. Right? It is a cornerstone, and it's very important for you to learn, but at the same time, they're everywhere, right? You'll always be able to find a tech map somewhere. And so a good tech map, and so far I've seen no minuses which is very, very good, right? So already, we know that the players do like it more than most mini RPG of the week maps, which is not surprising because a tech map is something that everyone can like, such as vanilla, right? Vanilla is very neutral in that sense. Tech is very neutral.
It's one of those things as well, like, if you can do a vanilla good, that's probably a testament to your skill as a mapper, right? You know, if you can make a vanilla that people are like, damn, that was good, you know you've done something right, but you've also, I suppose with a vanilla map, if you don't have people complaining, you've done something right, but if you have people who like your map, you're like, huh, that was notable enough that as a vanilla map, that it made it, you know, into people's favor. It made it into their minds. Good luck, have fun in the chat. Some people with just have funs, no luck to their competitors. Let's see our first round driving this map for real.
You can't give good luck to your opponents, especially in Mini RPG of the Week. You can clip on anything, right? Because Mini RPG of the Week, you'll have a lot of transitions, right? This map, full of transitions. But at the same time, you're just going to be... You're just on the edge everywhere, right? There's little rims all over the place. If you clip once, right, that could be bad luck. That could be down to just about anything, as we watch Ice right now on this warm-up lap to see how everyone is going to do here. Fastest time, 56.83 by Yannick's. Not too big of a surprise here, as we see a lot of the top players towards the top. Not too surprising whatsoever, such as Ice and Yannick's. But plenty of different players that might come through and surprise us here, such as
Nabla with the bomb.
That's fine, it's fine. No one gets eliminated. So, no need to get too excited. So far, we have a nice amount of players, actually. If you look at the middle left, you'll see how many players in total are playing. Very nice amount.
Let's see our saluting emojis in chat, people.
Yep. Well, can Liker get it in from there? No, he can't. He tried. So that's what happens when you jump too high and a little bit too much to the left. You'll find yourself going onto the block, which you don't want to do, right? You want to have too little speed or jump too low to get on top of the block, right? To get into the risky finish, which is probably what makes it risky, because it's such an uncommon line to take.
Yeah, absolutely. However, I do want to throw us a little into the future and ask the question that is on everyone's minds coming into the first, or the end of, I suppose, this warm-up round and into the elimination round. How many people do we expect to be eliminated in our upcoming decisive first elimination round?
I do believe 6 do get eliminated in the first round here. I think 6, because that's what the minimum is on at this point in time with over 60 players.
It says 8 will be eliminated. Oh my.
8. So yeah, 8 until 64. There you go. So for this first round, it's 8. So 8. I don't see more players DNFing than just 8, honestly.
You know, for once I'm with you, and I think for once here on Mini RPG of the Week, and Nua Lake won't even be here to witness it, we might just get the prediction right. Now we're on board with the back of the pack here. Our Goose, oh my, resetting a couple times, getting this angle right. They just need to finish outside of that top 8. Boy, Hatchie in front of them, clearing that checkpoint and thing. These transitions are, if you're just getting a taste for competition, as you should when doing anything competitive in your life, you have to enter competitions to get used to the experience, to get used to the nerves, and especially doing technical things under pressure. So absolutely, if you're entering these things and you're at the back of the pack, no shame, no embarrassment, you're trying. That's more than a lot of people can say. And that's why these angles are hard. And so we're here with Gerdalf. Is that a Gandalf reference? I don't know. But they are eking out inches and millimeters over coming onto that transition. And, coming over to 60. We're back with our Goose. They've made that transition over onto the higher ground just before the risky fin, and they're gonna make it. They do. They eke it out.
I think that's it's 30 out. No, they're in 60th. So nose right makes it just into the top 8 that get eliminated. So sadly, he is the bubble.
Unfortunate.
And that bubble has just burst.
although we will be saying goodbye to these 8 drivers, we will be saying hello to the first ever time in history and the last ever time that we will get that prediction right. 8 players eliminated on the nose, both of us. Damn.
Yeah, 8 on the nose. I mean, this map wasn't hard, right? That's something to be said. A lot of mini RPG map of the week maps are hard, right? Not just in terms of you got to find the proper line and all that, but it's also because a lot of transitions are borderline impossible. The mapper here has made some very nice adjustments to allow for very safe and risky lines to be taken, right? So you can safe practically every single corner here, and yeah, you'll lose time. You'll lose half a second each time you do so. Like, you could go wide here, or go through the triangle through that checkpoint. You can go straight ahead up here through the trees, or you could go a little bit wider to give yourself more space. So it's all down to your preference. There's plenty of spots where you can land earlier and gain more speed through it, or you could get more airtime, lose time, but stay safe, right? You're not in risk of falling down, like right here, where you can just slant straight down and be safe. So there's plenty of spots where you could fall, but in time, but not fall off the map because it's just too hard.
Yeah, I suppose that's a sign again of a good map, that it's hard, there's a high ceiling on it, but there's a learning curve to it too, and it allows for you to execute within a range. You don't have to be like radian angle 0.01 perfect to complete the map and just have a time at all. But at the same time, for those experienced drivers, they will be trying to take those inner lines, maybe go for those riskier setups. As we have Jaxie in chat saying, a part of the trick to doing this risky finish is getting a little bit of spring before it, you know? Getting that spring before it is important to it. And it's those things you just might not know if you haven't driven a lot of technical maps. Although, if you haven't, put it into your regimen, people, because...
Well, not all maps have a spring, right? The spring that she's talking about is right before the finish. There's a little jump that needs to be done over the road, and that spring, right? If you go too high off of it, well, you lose time, right? And if you go too wide on it, then you could get airtime out of the exit or lose a lot of time because you've gone wide. You go too inside, you could also gain airtime because you don't have enough turning radius. And so at that point, right, you're kind of stuck. You need to really perfectly jump through the middle. It's more towards the end, though. It's not all tech maps have this. In fact, I'd say like a minority of them will have a gimmick such as a spring, because it is a gimmick, all things considered, right? So if you think of gimmicks such as the fragile, the no brakes, the engine off block, right? Those are technically gimmicks, right?
Sure.
So all things considered, right? Not many tech maps will have a pipe on it, for example, right? So, but this one has, and it has one section with it, which is not necessarily. So this is the spring right here. It bounces you off in the air, and depending on where you land afterwards, right, will force you to take either the risky or the safe.
Okay, I do see what you mean, because you were saying about taking that. Oh, Shadow Calyx, unfortunate. But yeah, absolutely, that makes sense. That makes sense, because if you don't land well off that, you know, you're a bit bunched trying to get back up to speed, even to make the jump to the end section anyway. So let alone making it through the risky fin, getting the height, getting the angle. We'll be saying goodbye to another 4.
Yep, that's another 4 out, and we're going to stay on 4 up until the top 16, so it's going to take a little bit, right? Many rounds from now. There's going to be plenty of players still, but that just means that there's plenty of time for players to make mistakes, despite the fact that we aren't expecting any players to DNF due to the fact of not enough time after the first finisher. It's still very rough to see that it's plus 25, right, at the end. By the end of this, we are going to see plus 1 being out, I'm sure. By, like, I would assume top 10. By the time we reach top 10, if you have plus 1, you're out.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Well, that's not every mini RPG of the week map. some maps you're in top 4 and you're still in with +5, right? But this one, it's, as I said, it's vanilla, right? Most players know how to play this. So
a tech map kind of begets, narrower margins, especially at the top. If you're a good driver, it's built on the foundation of good technical ability and good technique. So here we see, Intern, can they eke out? I think they did. Oh, and Magi, no!
Did they make it in? No.
No.
They did. Oh no, they didn't.
They did not. No, I think. No, I don't know. I don't know if that cost them. I think they were +3 on the person who did make it in, so maybe that wasn't quite enough either way. But unfortunate.
I will say this: we did see a new PB being done, a 56.6 by Telne.
Okay.
On that lap, so very nice time there.
Mm-hmm.
Very crucial. Oh, well, there goes Telne.
Commentary bound to curse. It is,
but it's fine. It's fine, right? +17 was still in last time around, so we're expecting something like +15, right, to still be in by the end of this round. I
expect Telne to probably be +5 by the time they finish this lap.
Exactly. So they'll still be fine. Lucker's Turbo, a streamer, finds himself also down in the 40s right now with is that 8? I see +9 actually. I think they're still going to be fine, but they need to mount a small comeback here. But they are on the bubble, so they don't have that much left to catch up. And there you go, back into the yellows. Unless they make another mistake here. They're looking good. The one player that we do know very well here at Mini RPG of the Week is Jaxi, currently finding themselves in last place as we head towards the booster and then the spring right here, which jumps them up high, and that's what the wide I was talking about. Tej, too much speed. And that will be out for him. And Telne with the fastest time last round is out.
Yeah, we were talking some good, sweet-ish people. Sorry about that. Yeah, +15 is what we'll be seeing this round. Oh, dear. I'm sorry, Telne, that's on us. Iridium, it's me, Nualaic, owner of this channel. Don't worry about it.
It's totally Nualaic. It seems like Telne's French. Oh, most people here are French. Let's be real here, Zederate is French, right? And so a lot of people who play in this are French. Of course, there's plenty of others, right? I already mentioned Lucker's Turbo, who is German. There's also Nalax, who is from Poland, right? Who plays these week in, week out. And there's plenty of players as well, such as, let's say, like Yannex, who is Swiss. Speaks French, but still Swiss, so not French. Right? Just like me, you can't tell me I'm French, even though I'm from Quebec, right? Yeah. Which is the French part of Canada. Well, most French people will say that I'm not French, because I don't speak real French. Deployer. We currently see Chum right on the edge here, ahead by about 3 seconds on intern hybrids, and right now Velto and Lucan are currently on that red, as we can see hybrids here on that edge, behind by quite a lot of time. Let's see if they can stay in though. If they can make it into the top 40. They get overtaken by intern though. Let's see. They can stay in. There's, I think, the finishers though. Everyone's finished. Yeah, so all 4 players are out no matter what happens
and they're both out. What a beautiful, beautiful moment. Well, I suppose if you're getting a +23 and a +32, despite trying your hardest at this stage, where we're about halfway through the pack, that's what it takes. You need to be a little bit faster on the draw than that, and it's those clips you were talking about to start, but that is just what it is.
It is what it is at the end of the day. Jaxi saying in chat, right? I'm decent at RPG, but bad at regular Trackmania. You come in, week out, right? Of course, you're gonna start to get good at RPG and the gimmicks, right? Because a lot of RPG maps have a lot of gimmicks in them. This map, not many gimmicks to really bowl your way up, right? So there's not many gimmicks to really screw over the top players. in that sense. Now, Telne did fall off after getting the fastest lap, but still, Yannick's did beat it with a 56.3 last time round, so it is still up for debate what the fastest time will be. It could be a sub 56 as well. So keep your eye out on that.
I'd love to see a 55. I'd love to see a 55 just at the end, just last two, someone gets a 55, the other person's +2 at the end, just absolutely blown out of the water.
To be fair, Iridium, right? I still knew his channel for like 3 months, like earlier on when season 2 of Mini RPG started. So I guess I'm the guy who stole the channel, as Shafu wants to get himself in, and he does. He was on red, makes it in, and there's only 2 more spots left. 1 more, and it's taken by Morid, and everyone else is out. Snow is out. That's actually a bit of a surprise there. Refact is out, Zulz is out, and Darjan DNFs.
So sorry, I think it's because I didn't say hi back to Snow when we introduced ourselves on stream. I didn't have chat open yet. I'm so sorry. And Iridium asking me to expose myself. Indecent. Wow. Get yourself banned. Somebody banned. Click their head.
Ban.
Moderators.
Ban.
Get them. Madge, no hi. I'm so sorry.
It's... Listen, Iridium, if you wanted someone to expose themselves, you should have asked me, right?
Mods!
I'm the gay.
Don't worry.
I'm the gay guy here. I should be the one that you're asking. All right. Well, top 40 now. A little bit deep into it, as we have now 37th place as the lowest position you can now fall yourself down into. Which at this point in time, still seeing a lot of mistakes out of these players, such as Lucker's Turbo, which is very surprising because he comes from tech, right? He, really good streamer, does a lot of not just RPGs, but mostly like challenge maps, right? Really hard, long maps that require a lot of skill, and I know that Turbo has a lot of tech skill, for sure. So it's surprising that to see him down in red for like the 3rd time around. He's just not got that beginning down pat, because it's definitely what's been costing him to go down to the red. He goes up above now. He's lucky, but look at this now. It's +9, right? +9, you're barely in. So slowly but surely, the times that you need to stay in going down lower and lower. And Jules, who could have stayed in, is now out on the bubble. That ending just killed about 10 people, but 6 of them still went through.
That was
one of them is
the
Lucker's Turbo, and the other one is Jam. 2 big players as well for Mini RPG. Wait, what? Huh? That is surprising. Why did that happen? So it says that Turbo DNF'd, and this happens a few times sometimes. Just Jam. I don't know why it's always Jam. He finds himself down in last, but he's not eliminated, so I'm guessing it's just a bug with the UI.
Potentially. I do think we did see Luckers maybe struggle with the first half, where they did put on quite the clinic in the second half of the map, just gliding their way through. By the second last or the last checkpoint, they were well clear. They were like, a second under people behind them in the last patch. So hopefully they can shore up in these later rounds. Here we have Alpha trying to catch, nipping at the heels of the back of the pack. Lucker's Turbo falling behind, maybe? Nope. It's not throwing for content. It is sheer will and determination getting them in over the rest of the pack, and we're back with Boju with bad player
Bonjour.
Dutch. Oh, these tight angles, and I think we're starting to see players who are taking the good angles, but maybe not the optimal angles, and just, getting clipped on the last checkpoint. And it wouldn't matter.
That's it?
It wouldn't have mattered.
Matter. No one died in the end. And that's really surprising. Bonjour is out with a +10. And so that could be a bit infuriating, because you might see some more rounds with +10 staying in. But at this point in time, right, top 30, you need to have +10 to a 56-1 by Yannick's. That is really tight at this point. 106 is not enough to stay alive.
Yeah, it's not just about driving the map good. Sometimes it's about making fewer mistakes,
Yeah.
Slow and steady.
It's being consistent.
We've always said it here. It's always about being consistent, and if you know you've kind of not looked out or you've not taken the right angle of approach, you know, get your double resets in. But I think even that, like we're saying, we're only getting plus 10s. If a doubles reset sets you back, what, 3 seconds, 2 seconds? Fewer? It just, I don't know, it just sounds like it all adds up way too fast. And even that slight, no, maybe not slight, but, you know, poor landing there on that, that slope downwards.
That made him lose like 10 seconds. But yes, go on.
Run-ending bonks. What can I say?
Yeah. Run-ending bonks do happen. Already, you can see plus 10, right? 5 players with plus 10. That means at least one person with plus 10 is going to stay in, possibly more, if this ending, because it is a cruel mistress. We do see 2 resets here. And yeah, a lot of people staying in with plus 10. And that is some table banging I can hear from further away from a few players who got out last round with times faster than plus 14. Which, bit rough, if you ask me. But it is what it is. As Yorsh, Quantix, Barosix, and Maurice are out. Morid, sorry.
Oh, okay. Yorsh Mi Veloce, the mapper from last week, not quite keeping with the pace that's being set. And it's a fast pace.
It is a fast pace. It's going to only get faster as well, right, as time goes on here. But Yannick's being the one who's really pushing the fastest lap, he's really the one to look out for. Mean and Ice also quite up there quite often, but Ice unable to really do the same kind of times that Yannick's is able to do at the moment in time. So we'll see further down the line if he's capable of keeping up. But at this point, there's only really 3 players, I would say, fighting for the top in Yannick's, Ice, and Mean, who have been consistently in the top 3 most of these laps, as we currently see. Nikajim, who plays mini RPG a lot, Vevolution and Punk's also in the red, so Nikajim just on orange now, just slightly behind. He's at plus 5, he's still at risk though. No mistakes here can be made in this finish. We see a lot of players going through plus 5, and Aramis, who comes in with plus 8, is the last player to be allowed entry into the top 21. We see Shafu, and we see Punk's Vevolution, and Semingly. I think so.
We saw
Sir Mungster.
We saw Vevolution actually bonk and DNF quite soon after, and I was about to make the comment that I think this is probably a map where the Rager's Soul, the keyboard mashing monkeys of the world, are probably justified. Like, losing that time off of one bonk and resetting, like the time from the bonk into realizing and executing a reset, you're probably too far gone at this point in the evening. Ernie Ball, I'm sorry, it's over, you're dead. Don't give up though. Drive left, your life depends on it. But it's that demanding, you know, the technical skill required to land all these different transitions is just, it accumulates, right? You know, you make a little error here, a little error there, you know, you land with the slightly wrong angle, it adds up, you know. If it adds up to 5 seconds over the course of the track, and you were going plus 2 anyway, plus 7, sorry, top 20, you can't make it. You're you know, 21 and over entry, you know. But
oh, yes, unless you live in Canada, which is normally plus 19, but where I live, it's plus 18. As Turbo is going to be out in top 20 once more. No little chart for you on the mini RPG of the week Liquipedia, my friend. As Mean also finds himself out. I think that one's a little bit bigger because, as I said, that was one of the 3 players I was really looking to win this one. Yannick's and Ice are the 2 remaining at the top here. Telne is out. So when you really look down the list here, players are being fast, like Sir Talon with 57s, but you cannot keep up with Yannick's, who's done a low 56. He's practically a second faster than what was done last time around, actually. So that is really good to see out of him.
Yeah, and as we were saying at the start, at the top of the evening, top of the hour, You do it right once, you'll never get it wrong again. Infallible
Never, ever.
human machines inputting things like a tool-assisted super player, and we've seen it. You get a top 4 time on the track, and you're always going to be there. No, this is just what RPG is about. It's consistency. We say it over and over again. Just because you have one of the better times doesn't mean you're not going to bonk trying to go a little too close to the sun. And whereas Icarus may have fallen, Daedalus lived because he did not fall to his own hubris. And even now, we're seeing such clean lines and runs, and you see people catching up with the pack, and it's like fractions of an angle that gets Eramis in over, the bottom 4. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. And we already see right now there's only going to be 2 eliminations, right? From this moment on. So at this point in time, you're going to see +2 being out, most likely, by the end of this. Damn. And if it might be +2 up until the last checkpoint, because many people might fail the ending, though it is, as I said, one of the easier risky finishes. It's still a risky finish, right? If you fail the entry into the last checkpoint, well, you can't go for that risky finish, and going for the safe finish makes you lose about a second and a half. So it is worth it to really solidify that last turn. And I think it's what's going to make or break a lot of players here, as we already see Yannick's down at the bottom, as well as Tunix. And so big mistakes out of each one here. Liker currently at the top. Tunix and Ediso currently in last. Let's go on Tunix, though, because they are still in the pack. They're fighting for the top 11 at this point, and just behind them, just ahead of them, is Choco, as that's a reset from Nekojim and a DNF out of them. So Tunix now safely into the orange, unless they make a mistake themselves. Ediso very, very far behind, but +2, that's what I was saying, right? They're already at the last checkpoint, and it's +2 that makes it in. So at this point in time, right, if you're Ediso, yeah, you have 1 DNF behind you. Wait, can you make it? Can you make it? Can you make it? Oh! No! So close, nearly sniping Choco. Choco made 2 mistakes there, actually, at the end. Also a bad line, but Ediso just could not correct the bad line that they made into that last checkpoint.
I was going to say, fair dues to Ediso, because they bonked on, the first or second transition, and they stayed in it. And I made the joke earlier about who was it for Ernaball, that it was over, just quit, unplug your controller, dog. But they nearly made it back, and I think that was actually the right decision. It was a testament to the determination to stick with it, because as we've been saying, the margins are quite narrow, and if you are making those +2 runs anyway, if someone else bonks later on, it might be a more costly bonk, so you might have that budget to play with. But unfortunately, Choco just eked it out over them. And I was going to point out as well that Choco had just slightly suboptimal angles with the drifts at the start, and it led them to being behind for the entire lap. We're here with Liker, who's probably facing the same problem, who's catching up on Tunix, who was at the back at the start of the round, but it seems it's going to be down to the spring.
Yeah. The spring here, look at how inside Tunix was. Look at how little air time that Liker got, and he snipes right at the end there. But no, it's not enough.
It's not enough.
I thought that was a snipe. That was 3 milliseconds. That's it. Eramis beat Liker by 3 milliseconds. He caught up so much, but just that little ending, he was too far back. And so had he just made up a little bit more time earlier on, 3 milliseconds was all he needed. He's out because of that. That was so close. I thought he was ahead.
I just want to point out in the last 2 rounds, Yannick has pushed a 55, and he's got another 14 milliseconds on it. He's got a 55.644 now. Looking pretty good for Yannick. Let's see if anyone can push it to the metal, push them to the limit.
Yeah, because no one else here has even done something within a second other than Ice and Telne, right? And Telne's out, and Ice, I mean, I don't know if he wants to push this all too much. Now, we do see that we're now in the top 10, right? Now we're in top 9, in fact. And there are 3 players that we normally don't see towards the top, but who do play Mini RPG of the Week pretty often. Valar DePaul is a stealer of pork, but also in the top 10 for what feels like the first time in a while, actually, because they play very, very often, and they've made it into the top 10. Bueno is the other player. A good friend of mine, good French caster actually, and is pretty cool, all things considered. And he's fighting
plug their
himself
socials.
currently.
What's the Twitter real fast?
Oh yeah, exactly. Well, I do believe it's still just Bueno as we head into the finish here. Ice made a mistake. Is he still alive? Yes, he is. He barely made it in though. He probably had to go through the safe finish, which is why he went +3. But Vladapaw and Novu are out. Now we're in top 7.
Yeah, Novu with a really unfortunate early bonk into a reset, kind of unsalvageable. Call the pallbearers, get our coffin dancers out. This is the Grim Reaper. This is bad, you know. Such minor mistakes, and you're being punished very hard for them. Not by any very exaggerated or traditionally punishing tricks or gimmicks in mini RPG. It's just the mountain of small errors in your transitions pile up, and they're sins that crawl all over your back and weigh you down like like the mortal monkeys we are. Sisyphus rolling the ball up the hill, trying to eke out those milliseconds, and Yannick's towering like a golden god above the rest of our drivers. Bueno, will you solidify yourself in this top 5? Or will Jabel? Or won't they? Or will they?
Oh,
or won't they?
Mistake. Oh, but that's a bigger mistake there by Sir Talon. And so, if Bueno actually stays in here, he'll be in top 5. Now there's only one elimination. And that's it. Aramis and Sir Talon are out after 2 mistakes by them. And it's only 1 mistake now, right? 1 mistake and you're out at this point in time.
All +2s. All +2s, baby.
Now, Deployer with only 1 out at this point. I'd expect us to be looking towards the top. With this fight here, we see 4, 5, I would even say, really good players. Bueno is still a tech player at the end of the day. That's not too surprising that he's still in this compared to when he plays in other mini RPG of the weeks, because tech is what he knows best. And that is no secret to anyone that knows Team Eclipse at all, because, well, it's for them. So, and with Tunix right ahead of him, as well, also a tech player.
Oh.
Jabel, that's it for Jabel on this one. That I don't see how he stays in, right? Because everyone else can see that Jabel is behind by +6, and well, all you need to do is safe it, right?
Yeah, just
not
take
really
it easy.
much more to do here.
This map is like if instead of Lackey 2 with his like fishing rod fishes you out of the void and brings you back onto the track, just like like points and laughs at you, just like commits you to the abyss. This is your forever prison.
Nice
And
reset. Oh, they're barely in though.
I
Scary.
was gobsmacked. I saw someone reset there, and my life flashed before my eyes. I became the driver for a moment. Elimination, the end of existence. That was terrifying.
You saw it and you're like, wait, where's Jabel? Is he
Yeah,
that far behind? Right? How long is it going to take him to get back to speed? Yeah, no one snipes here, so Tunix, Ice, and Yannick, 3 really well-known players when it comes to mini RPG of the week. When it comes to tech, all 3 players also pretty well-known, but Bueno as well gets his name in there when it comes to tech. But when it comes to mini RPG of the week, I think this would be his first top 4.
Ice!
That's Ice!
No!
That is Ice who clips into the checkpoint, and that's really, really far behind. That is 4.5-ish seconds that Bueno has to him. He can just cruise to the finish here. No mistakes can be done though, because a big mistake, a reset here, would just put Ice back in. So Bueno taking this safe, you can see it, right? He's losing a lot of time to Yannick and Tunix, and that's not too surprising. He's definitely taking this safe. There's not too much time left on this map though, right? There's only 1 more checkpoint here through the spring. He's not going to get that much airtime, and he can get through the risky finish here. No problem. All Bueno.
Oh,
Uti Bueno, I should say.
You ever heard of the mental stack and mental damage?
I've heard of emotional damage.
Well, it's equivalent, you know. The emotional damage impacts your ability to play the game to your best of your ability, and even there, Ice, second on the leaderboard, couldn't do the risky fin at the end because they made that one bonk and they knew that they weren't going to make it into top 3. The frustration gets to you sometimes, and you know what? Bueno has stuck it out to top 3. Tunix has stuck it out to top 3. We saw them both below that elimination line several times throughout tonight, and now it's down to those milliseconds. It's down to those +1. It's going to be down to the wire, and I think Bueno taking the outside line on that checkpoint is going to be their undoing. I think we've seen them do it every time, and it might be a safe trick for them to do, or a safer way to approach it, but I just do not think it's going to be enough to win it out in the end.
It definitely won't be, because, of course, right, he's keeping up, but at the same time, it's really, really tough to go on the risky line, risk too much, right? And if you bonk, right, at this point, if you're Bueno, you're just hoping that Tunix or Yannick's bonk, right? Yeah. That's it. That's all. Right? You're just trying to survive, and at this point, he's still like in that fight.
There's no bonks left. There's no bonks left. You miss the risky finish, or you lose.
That's it. Yeah, and that's it. That's all, right? And that's 57s for both of them. Good times out of Yannick's and Tunix. GLs are in chat for the good lucks. Good job by Bueno to get into the podium. But now we go on to the final round, ladies and gentlemen. One player will be eliminated. One player will be crowned victorious. Who will it be? Tunix versus Yannick's last round of Mini RPG of the Week for February 1st is now underway. Tunix currently just slightly behind with a tighter inside line, though goes wider and thus will fall down a little bit behind. A little bit more airtime will give them extra overspeed out of that exit as they did go wide, but they're now fallen behind by about a 10th. Let's see how Yannick brings this into it. He had more turning radius and thus allowed him a better turn, but he lands improperly.
Tunix!
And that's Tunix who's going to take the lead. That's going to be really tough now for Yannick to catch back up. He's going to risk it, go more inside in that tree, and thus will catch up by just a little bit. Now they're side by side once again. You got Tunix now falling behind once more as Yannick pushes it to the limit. Yannick going into the spring here. Is he more inside? No, Tunix is more inside, and that's why you don't risk too much. Oh, but Yannick falls! Wait, everyone failed. They both failed. Oh my goodness, they both failed. Oh, and that hurts. That hurts the soul. Tunix could have had it, but he risked too much and gained a second place. In fact, if I do say so myself, he did gain the L by risking a little too much in the end there. Yannick takes the victory, not by the fact that he drove fast in that last round, because that failed at the finish. Those nerves definitely got to him, but Yannick still pulls through and wins.
Incredible. For those of you at home who don't know, Yannick and Tunix are actually twins. Tunix older by a couple of seconds, and you know, just showing to the big sibling that, you know, it's not all about age and seniority. No, jokes aside, congratulations to Yannick. That was well fought at the end, especially when it got to spaghetti time. You know, two drunkards at the bar with no shirts on their back, just swinging their entire arm for all they're worth, completely missing the target, and one was left standing, and that was Yannick's day. But Tunix put up an incredible fight and like almost took it at the end. I imagine what happened to Yannick was just out of the corner of their eye. They saw the bonk from Tunix and was just trying to walk it in, and they couldn't quite, you know, keep their eye on their own ball. You know, that was tense.
They both were risking that ending, right? That last turn, Yannick went a little bit wider for the better line, but he still couldn't get it through. He jumped too high up off the jump and thus didn't get enough height. And so he just did not land it properly. And as for Tunix, I mean, he crashed into Tunix, she crashed into the finish there and found herself facing the death, just trying to risk too much and eating too little.
You know, sometimes it's your day, sometimes it's not. But that you can come so close is a testament to the skill of our drivers today. Well done to Tunix and to Yannick.
Good job. Yeah. And good job by you.
And to
good job by you.
And to you. And to the viewers at home. If you want to get into Mini RPG of the Week and mapping and driving, please do. We're always looking for people to drive these maps and for people to make these maps. You at home could be making a map for Mini RPG of the Week. There's a Discord. I think there's exclamation Discord in the map, or exclamation MROTW in the map. In the chat. Folks, I'm driver brained. And you should be too.
There's also a Twitter you could go to. I do believe we got shouted out on the Twitter for for that today, so that's pretty great. Go follow our socials once you go follow Mini RPG of the Week. That'd be pretty cool, right? That'd be pretty poggers. I would say go give a follow to Mr. Drizzly right over here. He did great today. That guy.
Who? Me?
Oh, sorry, wrong side. This. Totally. You're totally on this.
Yeah,
side,
I'm
right?
over there. Shout outs to Deployer as well for being on production. Always a great job. New Alaic will be back to see all sometime. I don't know. I'll drag him out of his hidey hole eventually. But that's been us for this week. Tune in next week for another amazing installation of Mini RPG of the Week, thanks to our mapper of the week, Big Leus, Mr. Big Leus. I hope I am saying that right. Thank you for Lux City. It was a great map, very technical, very challenging, and as we saw, brought our drivers down to the wire. Congratulations to Yannick's TM. Thank you to Quantum Deathcat for joining me on this broadcast as well, and we'll see you in the next one. Toodaloo.
Always blowing up phones when the door shut. Deep breath, white ducks. You should let in some air, you get stuck. Hurt feet as the tears rush. Cold sleep, keep a parent side. They don't know what you crying for. They don't know what you do to get onto the dance floor. How many times that it takes to convince you? How many times that I'm someone you want more? I'm trying to show you the things that I'm into, but every time we arrive at an ending, now I feel that I sound condescending. I know you hurt, but you know that I'm mending. But we can step at home if you want to. I hear this beat down deep inside. Don't wait to feel, don't wait to try. So what's with the hold up? If you come in to show up. So what's with the hold up? If you come better move. What's with the if you come in to show up. So what's with the if you come in to show I've been so lonesome since she went away. She's gone through changes, but I've stayed the same. And she knows that my heart was in the right place. It's a shame that the right place is too far away.